Hello and welcome to the Glamptuary podcast, where we talk about the experiential outdoor hospitality industry and glamping. I'm your host, Bobby Marsden. Welcome to episode 4 with Jesse Roesler and Open Air Outpost. Now, in the previous episodes on season 2, we've gotten to know Jesse a little bit. We've gotten to know Etienne a little bit about what their backgrounds are and their why. Why are they doing this? And now we're starting to talk about the what. And in Jesse's case, it's about what can be experienced at Open Air Outpost. He has some amazing experiences that he's put together, and he's going to dive into them all. So without further ado, episode 4, Jesse Roesler and Open Air Outpost. I hope you enjoy. Hey Jesse, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Bobby.
How's everything coming along with the tiny home and Open Air Outpost?
It's going great. I just constructed our kayak rack. We've got 2 kayaks and a paddle board. They look sad sitting on the ground, so got a nice little rack to stack them on, just waiting for people down by the water.
That's perfect. Well, that's a great segue into experiences. You know, part of what the Glamptuary offering is not only a chance to stay in a glamping structure and be out in nature, but it's also a chance to experience what it is to be in whatever area you may be in and learn more about that culture, that area, and doing all that through activities. So I'd love to know, as part of your offering, you have the tiny home, but you also have a property and you have things to do on that property, which we'll call experiences. And then you might actually have some things that maybe aren't necessarily on property, but things that you might be able to bring in if someone were so inclined. So tell us a little bit about what you have offering on the property as part of the stay, and then what are some other things you might have been ruminating on as far as experiences you might be able to bring in?
Yeah, absolutely. So to set the stage, this is in an area that's referred to as the Blue Hills in northwestern Wisconsin. And it's this area where the glacier came through and created all these little kettle marine lakes, tiny lakes that some of them, like this one, is 55 feet deep. They're not huge, but there's hundreds of them in a not big area, actually. And as a result, the landscape is like these beautiful rolling hills and all these like beautiful glacial lakes. And so we are 18 acres on the south side of one of those lakes, essentially taking up, the bottom half of the lake. So it's very private, very quiet, has that topography. So first and foremost, we're saying it's kind of where the woods meet the water. It's heavily forested, a lot of a mix of hardwoods. So first and foremost is just get out and walk around and experience the forest, right? So we've got trails that wind through here for walking and hiking. There's great hiking nearby. The Ice Age Trail, 1,200-mile trail that runs through Wisconsin, is 6 or 7 miles down the road. There's great mountain biking down the road. But also here on site, we're right at the water's edge of a non-motorized, it's private lake. So there's no public boat landing, no public access. So it's incredibly quiet. There's no motorized watercraft allowed. The next thing that's great to do is you can hike on the land and then take out a kayak or a paddleboard, go experience the water, go say hi to Larry, one of the loons that we've named. There's a pair of loons that have claimed this lake for their own. We've seen sandhill cranes, mallard ducks, all kinds of aquatic birds. Just getting out on the water, it's a great fishing lake because there's no public pressure. So you can kayak, you can fish, you can hike, you can cook. We've got a nice campfire ring and a kudu grill, which is a wood fire grill. So, open air cooking, anything that you can think of to do in the open air is possible here. And then to take it a step further, a lot of our guests from our podcast, Open Air Humans, are not too far either. So you could schedule a foraging walk with forager chef Alan Barago. You could do a naturalist hike with Emily Stone, who's not too far at the Cable Natural History Museum. You could do open air yoga with my wife and partner, Jen, who's a yoga teacher who can do an outdoor class. There's really a lot of things. We partnered with local people. You could do a farm tour, get a box of produce, have that transformed into a meal. There's just a ton of fun stuff you can do. That's all sort of listed out as well on openairoutpost.com. And we're going to be adding more to that sort of as we go and get more partners involved too.
That's awesome. When you were dreaming up this plan to offer this, was experiences something that you immediately wanted to tie in, or was it just kind of like, let's just rent the tiny home, see how it goes? Or were you on the other side saying, if we do this, we want to make sure there's experiences that these people can have?
Yeah, I mean, because again, we started with why. It's like we chose not to buy a rental property in town or in Minneapolis or in the city. We sure could. That's great. People do that all the time. It's, I'm sure, a great investment strategy. There's a purpose behind this, and that has to do with the purpose for our podcast too, Open Air Humans, is that we believe nature immersion can be very healing and very restorative. And we want to bring that to people. And there are certain things you can do in nature that can not only be healing, but create a different relationship between yourself and your surroundings, your natural environment. And so that's really what we want to encourage. At the same time, if you just want to escape, your daily life in the city and come out and just, sleep in that lofted bed up there and, once in a while take an amble outside, that's great too. That's why it's like a choose your own adventure, build your own experience. It can be, as active or as inactive as you want it to be. The point is you're out here in the quiet where there's no noise pollution, there's no light pollution. It's just you and the beauty of the natural world.
That's awesome. Well, I would assume another adventure that you probably have been on and will continue to be on is how to do this from a legal perspective. Permitting, zoning, how do you run a business? Because it's one thing to put a structure up and get some canoes and say, come on over and share it. And that's great with your friends. The minute you start charging for it and conducting yourself as a business, whole different thing. So I think next episode, definitely want to learn about what you've learned and kind of how you proceeded through those steps.
Yep.
But until then, I wish you well. Good luck on the kayak installation, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Sounds good. And we'll see you soon.
Okay. One thing's for certain. I'm definitely adding Open Air Outpost to my bucket list. It sounds like Jesse has some amazing experiences put together out there, and I can't wait to go visit and experience them all. In the next episode, we're actually going to take a step back. Jesse's going to dive into the planning stages. What went into making this all possible? Zoning, permitting. There's all kinds of things that go into planning a Glamptuary, and Jesse's going to talk about some of the challenges he faced and how he overcame them. To follow along with Jesse or with Etienne, or both, we hope, you can do so on www.glamptuary.com, where you can see both video and audio versions of this podcast. And then if you'd like to follow along on other platforms like Apple or Stitcher or Pandora, we're also up there too. We don't care how you follow, we just ask you to follow. So until next episode, safe travels. We'll see you next time. Thanks.